Hello, everyone. How's it going? Long time no see. Guess I saw you all in the last GHW, where we did a lot of things. Not a lot, actually. It was hurried up towards the end about WebSockets. But welcome back, everyone, whoever is joining again. And hello to all the first timers, all the newcomers. Welcome to the Open Source Week of Global Hack Week. Hello, everyone in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Love the enthusiasm that you all show every time. That is so amazing. So, welcome to the Global Hack Week Open Source Week. My name is UT. I am a coach at Major League Hacking, and I also love to stream. So far, done quite a lot of streams. I forgot to check the number right before this stream started. Otherwise, I would have given you an exact number. And we are here in the Open Source Week where I am going to show you all, and we'll have a bit of chat of how you approach a project. And we are going to revamp one of the previous projects that we built as part of a previous Open Source Week. So, yeah, keeping the spirit of open source alive, where you all can contribute to the projects that are out in the open and are open sourced. I am going to do some revamping, and then, of course, towards the end of not just today's session, uh, after the end of Global Hack Week, it would be open for contributions from you all. Whenever whatever you want to do, anything that we miss, any additional features that we could add, I would request you all to provide code snippets, raise pull requests, anything and everything. Now, before we go further in the details of what are we going to do, let me also show what am I even talking about. So, as part of our previous Global Hack Week, which were previous open source week, okay, which happened in October, I think, when we had the Hacktoberfest. Uh, we built a application called as Color Conjure, which is this application. It is hosted, and you all can actually see it slash use it by going to the website that I have shared in the chat. What it was a very simple application, I would say, uh, but it was still fun building with you all. Where what it allowed you to do, like example, you could choose kind of a color name, could be anything. Then you could choose some values. So, like, let's say I want to generate shades of this particular color. It allowed you to input a hex value or an RGB value or a HSL, which is hue, saturation, and lightness. uh, and that and then you click on generate colors. It gives you multiple shades of the color. You could also check the color contrast, where we were checking the AA and AAA of colors, which is the perfect way to tell if on this particular background with this particular foreground, what would be the contrast ratio. So we built this where it allowed you to check if the color contrast is good or bad. This is especially necessary, I would say, when you have when you're building something and you need it accessible, okay, for people who have uh, like in general, actually, not even just people who would not be able to perceive it, but also in general for anyone to notice certain things, like the buttons need to be properly visible, stuff like that. Okay, so AA and AAA. Uh, this was a table that we built, not from scratch. We used a library, of course, and not just one color palette. You could add a color set, get a pop-up slash notification, which was pretty cool. This would be, let's say, secondary color, and I want this color to be AAFFCC for some reason. Generate colors. Again, gives you a contrast from light most to dark most. And you could also export colors. You could export it in Tailwind format of hex or HSL, or SCSS format, or CSS, or CSS HSL, or CSS RGB. You could copy this code. So if I copy this, I could paste it somewhere. I don't know where to paste it right now. So let me just see Notepad online. And this is what it would have copied and pasted. We also had the option of copying, like exporting everything in the same format. So like for Tailwind Hex, it would kind of export the colors in this format. So let's say I copy this one, and you could paste it in your project. What this allowed you was, if you're using Tailwind in your project, you could kind of replace the primary colors with these shades, secondary colors with these shades. The motivation for this project came from UI Colors app, which is a Tailwind CSS color generator, which allows you to do the same thing. But the only problem slash something that was uh, that I wanted to build was, let's say this, if you have to get a secondary color, then you had to pay for it. And I was like, we could kind of build it on our own. Uh, and that's what we did. Okay. Ooh, they support theming as well now. Okay, so that is also my plan for this second revamp. But okay, we'll come back to it. So this is what it allowed you to do. The project had quite a good number of contributions, I would say. Few from me, few from the automated bot to upgrade certain libraries. But there was quite a lot of contributions, I would frankly say. We had a bunch of issues assigned to different people who were contributing. So this was, as I said, also part of Hacktoberfest. So yeah, people were contributing to it. And interestingly, we had a lot of visitors. Oh, oh, I think this is me. But we had quite a good number of people using this, or at least checking it out. So in last 12 months, without any promotions or anything, we also I also added tracking, and that allowed me to see, oh, 433 people have uniquely visited this website. That is cool. We were using net. Sorry, my fire alarm is going off. Hello, back. I am so sorry. So fire alarm had gone off, and I had to rush downstairs. So yeah, I had to leave midway. But let me see. The session is not over. We will restart. And thank you so much for sharing this. And thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay. So yeah, seems like a false alarm. They replaced the fire alarms recently, and there's some of them are faulty. So this happened. Anyways, going back, uh, now that I am alive and kicking, uh, we were talking about the project. Okay, so this is what we had built. Now I had an idea for a V2 of this, where we will overhaul everything that we have built so far. We had built so far, and yeah, I would love to do that on stream. So I have 6 scheduled sessions where we will go over uh, everything that we want to upgrade. I also tried to create a design. So this is our V1 design. Actually, it is available in the code base. And this is the V2 design that I have in mind. Okay. So there would be color conjure on top left. You will have more like tab like things. In here, I have added a slight like this. There's a slight thing here, which is to allow uh, dragging. Okay, so let me zoom in a bit more. So this would allow you to drag your palettes up and down. I have not thought of the feature yet properly. Not a product designer, as you can imagine, but yeah, that was one of the ideas that I had, which was you could have a drag and drop feature. Your homepage will have all your palettes, of course. They would allow you to have, like, what is the base color, that was the primary color, will be here. Saving would allow you to save this on the user's machine. So we are not going to add any database. I do not want to have a server dependency, uh, just because I feel it is not really needed for a project this small. I don't think we need a server dependency or maintain it in any way, shape, or form. Deleting would, of course, delete this whole part. Whatever color you choose, you can give it a name. The feature that we currently have existing as well. So the color name goes in here. This is the hex color that you could choose. Then you have the eyedropper, which would allow you to pick a color from any of these in the screen. Save, as I said, we'll save it. Where do we save it? I was planning to save it in IndexedDB so that it is on the user's browser. It is not deleted unless explicitly deleted, or unless they uninstall their browser, get rid of their operating system. It will still remain. Uh, Whatever hex color you choose here will, sorry, whatever color you choose here, actually, no, sorry. You would have a hex color feature where you can add a hex color similar to what we can do here, or you could add a RGBA, where we are going to add a new part, which is the alpha, which is how dark, or like what is the opacity of the color. HSL, CMYK, and LCH. So I'll have to remember the full forms of everything, but RGBA to hue, saturation, and lightness. CMYK is, I'm pretty sure one of them is magenta. No, I'll have to confirm again. And lightness, LCH. So all of these would come from one single library that we were using before as well. Uh, so you could input one of these fields and everything else will be kind of translated. You could delete this whole thing. You could add on the click on the plus button to add cyan, magenta, yellow. Oh yes, yep. uh, the plus would add a new box like this with the drop down as secondary. Then in here, this number 12, this represents how many color shades you want generated. So that would be kind of a new feature, because previously we had it hard coded, but now we can kind of configure it. Uh, for every color that you click here, this box will be populated in a way. And again, you can save this whole palette. You can delete this whole generated palette. For every color that you click on, it would show you the RGBA value, the CMYK, the HSL, the LCH, and OKLCH. And on the right hand side, we'll have a UI component which will use two or three colors depending on, like, mostly will hard code that number, but I don't have any like a better design slash description for it yet. I was going to go for a contrast, so take two colors of contrast and color all the components in relation to that. Okay, so that was the idea that I had. uh, so example, or the secondary idea could be that you click on first color, you click on second color, and based on those two colors, it would color all the components. So these are some fake components that we'll create so that users can see that the two colors that they choose, how that would look like on an outline button. uh, what would it look like? I was also going to add, like, we are also going to, and definitely going to add theming, so that we can have at least two color themes here. Saved palettes will show all the palettes that you have saved in your IndexedDB, and that is where we will give the functionality of deleting something and adding a new palette or something. Accessibility, this is where the contrast uh, would be shown. Then extract colors. Uh, I was Now this feature I added it, and then I was googling around how we could do it. I found a few libraries that I have not tried out yet, uh, but we'll do it live, of course. So the idea is that you paste an image, and it should be able to extract colors from those image. How we'll do it is still like, I've still not come to a decision slash conclusion. And the about page is just about this project. So this is the idea that I had, that I quickly sketched thanks to Figma. If you don't know about Figma, MLH has sessions on Figma where you can learn how to use Figma, how to get access to Figma, and it's pretty cool tool. Allowed me to create all of this in, I would say, an hour, because I'm a slow designer, and also because I had to think of how it should look like. Uh, yeah, so that is everything that I wanted to show in terms of new design. Now, there is one question here: will I be open to new design idea? Sure, definitely. If, like, because we are starting the project today, I think I am going to start with this one first. And if there are tweaks to this idea which will not require me to rewrite the whole project, definitely open for it. And is this a React project? Yes, it is a React TypeScript project. When it started, it was only pure React and JavaScript. Then I think one of the PRs, I upgraded everything to TypeScript. And then there were multiple PRs on adding tests as well. So we also have unit testing set up for this whole project. Then, yeah, that is, I think, it. Like, there were upgrades about adding new functionalities, issues, things like that. Uh, Another question: how do we need to contribute? So to contribute, of course, the repository is there for you all. Uh, but please hear me out once. If you want to contribute, wait for the sessions to end and then you can contribute. Okay. So I have 6 sessions. I have 2 sessions today back to back. Uh, so that is 4 hours. Then I have 2 sessions tomorrow, same time, 4 hours again. And then I have 2 sessions on Wednesday, uh, again 4 hours. So after these 6 sessions, the project would have reached somewhere. In the project, I am like, I'll talk about how I think, how I'm building, the setup that we have, what could be added, what could be removed, what could be improved, everything. We'll add unit testing on most of the things that we build. And when the 6 sessions end, wherever we are, and you have seen the design, you can contribute based on where we end. Okay. So that is the idea. So that's where I would suggest contribute after all the sessions end. I have set up the repo locally. Nice. I will also tell you how you can do it quickly. And how can one contribute to it? Is this the only project we have for collaboration? I'm not aware of any other projects, but as the Global Hack Week goes, this is still the day one technically. So as the project goes along, as the Global Hack Week goes along, you will get more opportunities for uh, collaborating on other projects. But from me, this is the only project. There is a question: is there a button to upload image so we can extract the colors from the image? Is this regarding the feature of extract colors that you are asking? If yes, then yes, when you go on that page, so these would be the pages. So when you go on that page, you can extract the colors. Also, one final thing regarding the contribution, uh, or more like, let's say, this question. So for contribution, once all the sessions end, then we will have, like, I'll create some issues on GitHub. So there are currently 9 issues. These will be removed, but we close around 32 issues, which is nice. Different people, as I said, contributed to it apart from me. Uh, so I'll create issues. I will, like, and as and when people ask for it, I can assign it to them. So example, there was this issue about, uh, you know, who wants this issue? Someone wanted to build it, and I was like, yeah, sure, definitely go for it. Fix the responsiveness, and they opened a bug. So I will create some. I would ask you to create some. They opened a bug, assigned it to them, and they fixed it. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So that's how you can, like, I will create some issues for anyone to grab, or you all can raise a bug request. So you can click on new issue, you can raise a bug request, feature request, a blank issue, or a security vulnerability that we have in our code base. Let's say you want to raise a feature request, then give it a title, add a description, bunch of other things, and that's it. Okay, so you could do that, and that is, I guess, everything that I want to talk about. uh any other questions? Let me just shut the window now that the fire alarm issue is gone. There's too much noise from outside. Okay, so any other questions? Let me go through the questions, and also let me notify. Okay, so one question is, what languages do we need to know for contributing? JavaScript. types TypeScript is not exactly a language, but understanding how to assign types would be nice. I think that's it majorly, nothing else. Can you clarify what the six dot so the six dot icon is for drag handler. So we could use React DND, which is drag and drop, which will allow us to drag and drop stuff. Now, yeah, there we go. So something like this. Okay. So drag and drop the color palettes. Like, what if basically you want to drag and drop between two, like, I don't want my primary color to be the first one. Example, I want this color to go down here, whatever is the second color goes up here. So this is to allow you dragging and dropping. Okay, some ML model to show palettes with colors. If we can use TensorFlow JS on UI side without any server dependency, sure. I would, as I said, I would prefer not to have any server dependency or anything which is not in the UI. Okay, so because I want this to be a UI only project, so that anyone can get started. No one has to set up any server. If you want to contribute, it should be you fork the repository, you clone it on your system, you run npm install, you run npm run dev. That's it. You have everything up and running locally. So yes, definitely, I do not want any server-side dependency. Next, is it similar to React Flow? I will need to check. I don't remember React Flow from top of my head. Node-based UI kits. I have no idea what this does. Okay. Perfect. So I think I've answered all the questions. Now, before we move on, if you have not already registered for the session, please do. So the registration link is in the chat. This is so that we can keep track, you can keep track of everything that is like all the sessions that you have attended. Okay, so please do register. The registration link is in the chat. Now, if there are no further questions, how would you and how should you work alongside me? So there are two things here. One is when I'm building, okay, when I am contributing to this project, that is when I would request you all to not make contribution, but you can still follow alongside to me, follow alongside with me. So what you could do is fork this repository on your username. So if you have a GitHub account, you can simply fork this repository. Once you fork this repository, then you can clone your forked version on your local system. And whatever changes that I make, you can make and see if your project is running. Any changes that I make will be pushed on the repo. So it should be available for you to kind of copy paste if you need to, if you have missed something or there is some error. What I also don't want is it to keep publishing every time we make a change, because now currently we are using Netlify automatic deploys to deploy anytime the repository is updated. I don't want that, so I am going to stop the deployments. I'm going to pause the deployments. Okay. Perfect. So now every time we make a push to this repository, it will not deploy, because till the time this project is not complete, any user who is using it, which would be really glad if people are using it, So any user who is using it, I don't want them to have a bad experience of a broken project or a broken website. So I've paused the Netlify auto publishing slash auto deployment. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's get started. Of course, I have my repository locally. So I am just going to run this repository locally. I think the README specifies a bunch of things. Yeah, it specifies that you need to. So if you want to run this project locally on your machine, things that you definitely need, one is Node.js. Okay. Node.js, and that should be version 20 or higher. So minimum is version 20. I am using Node version 20.17.0. Let me zoom in a bit for everyone. And my npm version is 10.9.1. So this is the bare minimum versions that you need. If you don't have Node.js installed on your system, you can go to Node.js downloads page and download Node.js. There we go. So you could get the latest 24, or you could get 22, which has a long-term support. I would suggest go for 22. Choose your system. Is it Mac, Windows, Linux, or something else? Let's say if it is Windows, then you could technically use some of these, or you could just download a pre-built Node.js with Windows running some architecture, download the MSI, double click on it, install it. Okay. For Mac, 64, download this, double click on it, install it. For Linux, what are the options? Wow, a lot of them. V7, download, double click, install, like whatever is the way. Basically, I'm less concerned about that. So definitely have Windows version 20 or higher. Mine is 20.17.0. This project works on that. npm would be installed when you install Node.js. So that, of course, you need an editor. Choose your editor of choose an editor of your choice. From my previous streams, I've come to know that people prefer a lot of different editors nowadays. Choose whatever you like, basically. What else? Yeah, once you have the editor, once you have Node.js, you can fork the original repository that I have shared, clone it, clone the forked version on your local. So you could do git clone and that repository, like your forked version on your machine. Have git installed. Yeah, that is also another thing. And we, like every GHW, we have a session for people who are new to Git about getting good, like get good with Git. Okay, get good or get good with Git. So you can learn how to use Git from there, what it does. I have it. So that, and then once you have cloned the repository, then you can follow the project, follow the instructions here. So this step is done. It's not going to be cloned from my user. It should be cloned from your username. Then run npm run bootstrap dev. So that is a custom script that I have, which will clean install. And the clean install, this script is very I try to be smart here, or a bit more fancy here. What this clean install script does is it recognizes which system you're running on. If you are running on Mac, then it will remove node modules if you have it installed for some reason. Remove dist folder and run npm install. If you are on Windows, then it will use rmdir to remove the node modules folder, dist folder, and npm install. So depending on the operating system you are on, for Linux, it's same as Mac. Okay. So depending on the operating system you are on, it will run either this command or this command to clean anything, and then it will run install and dev dependency. I realize I have done this 2 times. This also has an npm install and this also has an npm install. Don't need it twice. Could technically remove it from here. But this also has a name install, so I think I'll remove it from here. Yep, I think this is much better. Okay. Don't think I need this, but also let me do npm run build. Yep, there we go. Another thing, Copilot will also be coding along with us. Normally, I turn it off in most of my sessions, but this time I will have it on up and running. We'll see what kind of code it suggests. Maybe we'll use it, maybe we'll not, and that's it. Now, once you have cloned your fork the repository, you have cloned your username repository, and you have run the npm run bootstrap dev command, then you can do npm run dev to start the project. So let me follow that. I am going to show you what all things I can, like this can do. I'm going to do npm run bootstrap dev. As you can see, it tried to run this. It understood that it is running on Linux or Mac OS. It is going to remove the folders, node modules and dist. There's the node modules folder. So it removed it and it started downloading it again. And it's running everything and it is done. Perfect. Ignoring this for the time being, but it has installed every dependency. Now I can do npm run dev. And there we go. So that is our project up and running locally. Okay. So yeah, I think that is all. Nothing else comes to mind for the time being. I am going to push all of this to GitHub for the time being. I made 3 changes. One in package.json, I just improved the bootstrap dev command. In the README, I changed it to your username so that you all don't download it from my username, clone it from my username. And I've also added the V2 design for now. And for someone who suggested to have, like, if I'm open to new ideas, yes, the V2 design will be out for you to see. And then if you want to make any changes, suggestions, you can create a Figma. You can take a screenshot of your Figma or whatever you want, and you can make a pull request to update the design. Okay, so let me push this, and I hope I'm on the correct username. I'll have to set my username because I use 2 GitHub accounts. So I have to switch between those two. Just give me a second. I am just trying to switch over to my other username. Okay, that is done. And I could just do git add. Git commit would be a chore update package.json and add new design. It also runs husky and lint command. So what do they do? So it allows, or what it forces is, it first runs the commit lint, and it also runs lint stage, and it runs TypeScript to see that there are no type errors. so that whenever you push, things are taken care of. The lint staged, it ensures that the code that I have written, it is following a proper or certain format. So ESLint configuration, which is right here. Yes. Okay. So this configuration has things like which ESLint version I'm using, how the app should be formatted, how many spaces, tab width, using tabs, parentheses, bunch of other stuff. Okay. So there are like loads and loads of customizations that I've done, so that anyone who downloads this and makes a change is able to is ensures that we follow the same quality of the project, we follow the same style, the same, let's say, indentation or anything related to uh, the configuration that we have. So do not use, let's say, type any. Okay, if you use type any, you're basically saying that I want to ignore everything that TypeScript gives me, and I want to make it more JavaScript, but I would prefer types. So when you try to make a commit, it runs all these configurations in the background. It checks if it follows a certain style guide that I have decided, and yeah, it runs it against it. So since there were no code changes, we don't see much here, and now I can just do a git push, and it was rejected. Mhm. Okay, so now I have some changes on. Yep, I had some changes there. I'm assuming it's dependabot changes that I did not have in my local for some reason. Now I've pushed it. So there we go. All the changes are pushed, and these are the 3 new changes that we did. Okay, perfect. So now what do we start with? Since this is an old project, I would start by updating the dependencies. Okay, so let me show how you could see what all dependencies need upgrading. Also, I'll go away from screen so that you can focus solely on screen and it is visible to everyone. So the way I check if some of my dependencies need upgrading, because I'll start by first upgrading the dependency. Oh, I'll keep coming on screen and going off screen depending on if I'm writing code, not writing code, whatever. Okay, so please ignore. Uh, okay, so the way I would start this project is by checking what all needs upgrading. So if I go into my package JSON, this is where all the libraries are defined, all the versions are defined, and I can see that okay, these are the dependencies that are definitely needed to run my project. And then there are these development dependencies that are not needed in production. What does that mean? So if these libraries are not available, it is fine, because this is for local development only. It is to ensure that I have a smoother experience when I'm developing locally. Now, most of these are outdated, definitely, and I want to see which ones are outdated, what is the latest version of every dependency, and upgrade it to that. If you notice, if I run npm install, I think it should tell me that there are 9 vulnerabilities in my project, which means there are 9 security issues in this project. I can see which are the security issues if I do npm audit. Let me do npm audit, and these are the ones. So babel helper library, which is used by some internal library, has a dependency. Babel runtime has issue, esbuild has issue, which is used by Vite. Nano id has issue, react router has issue, which is because of the router DOM. VTest has issues, so a bunch of security issues in the project. That is why it's also a good reason to update all the dependencies. So now, to do that, there is a command that npm gives, which is npm outdated. Okay, so let me copy paste this command in the chat for you all. So if you run npm outdated on your project, what it does is it scans the package JSON, it, and it checks which dependencies I have installed, which are the packages I have installed, dependencies as well as dev dependencies, their current version, what is the wanted version, like what is the minimum that you should have, and what is the latest version. So normally your current version and your wanted version will match unless there is a reason for it not to. Okay, so example, if there's some security issue that definitely, or some package that is no longer available on npm, okay, that could be possible, because what npm is, it's just hosting bunch of javascript, right? Definitely I have one package. uh yeah, so what it does, it hosts some javascript libraries for me. Okay, it is possible that I don't have it anymore, I delete it, or something happens and it needs upgrading. So sometimes your wanted version will change, and the latest tells me what are the latest versions. So I will need to either manually go and update all my versions, or there are other tools that are available which can do it for me. I would prefer to manually upgrade, so that I have a control over what libraries I'm using. Okay, let me go off screen because I'm going to just upgrade a bunch of code. This is the command I ran just for reference purpose. And now let's start by. So I also have another habit, which is if I remove all the dev dependencies, then it will only tell me all the dependencies that need upgrading. So this makes it easy for me to quickly check. So I start with headless UI React. The latest is 2.2.2. I'll do that. Tan stack React table, it is 8.21.3. Chroma React itself is 19.1.0. 1.0. React DOM is on 19.1.0 as well. Then we have React Hot Toast, which is on 2.5.2. React Icons is on 5.5.0. And React Router DOM is 7.6.0. Okay, and apparently Chroma.js never had any updates since the last time, so since last 6 months. CLSX did not have any updates since last 1 year. That is good. And now I am going to paste what I had done a cut of, and let me do npm run bootstrap dev. So after I have upgraded the libraries, or at least the dependencies, I see a bunch of warnings. But there is error because I upgraded React and React DOM, but I did not upgrade the types that they come with. What this could have caused, let's see. If I do npm run dev, does my project still work? It does. Okay. So the dev dependencies are a problem that need to be updated, but nothing else. Like, it's not stopping from my project to work. Okay, bunch of errors in the console. but it still works, I would say. If I change the colors, let's say generate colors, it works. Export colors, I can see everything. I can copy, close, check color contrast. Yep, everything works. So from all our dependencies that I updated, it does not cause any project failures. I do see a bunch of errors in the console that I will fix slash update. Okay. So dev dependencies can give us a bunch of errors, but if our dependencies are correct, things should ideally work. Okay. And this is also part of being backwards compatible. So React was upgraded from version 18 to version 19. It added a bunch of newer features, and that causes some of the errors here that I have, but it does not break anything. All it says is you're trying to do something which is not right, uh, but we'll allow it. Okay, as long as it does not cause infinite loop or something, we'll allow it. Okay, cool. So dependencies upgraded. Now let's go with the dev dependencies. So let me stop the server and run npm outdated again. This time, everything that I get in the list should technically be only related to the dev dependency upgrades. So let's start from the top, commit lint CLI. It needs to go from 19.6.0 to 19.8.1. Config conventional, similar. ESLint has a bunch of, wow, it's gone up by 10 versions. That is amazing. Testing library, React as an upgrade, 16.3.0. Also, another way to actually check the latest dependency would be if you delete something here and you do control space bar, then it fetches it from npm what is the latest version. So you could technically also do that. Types chroma js example. Yep, 3.1.1 is the latest. So I don't know, you can choose what you like. Yep, React and React DOM match as well. Okay, so pocket of silence. But meanwhile, if you have any questions, please do add them in the chat, just so that you're aware that I'm here. And if I'm not talking, then yeah, there I am on screen. Uh, I'll also talk about a few dependencies that we have. Uh, so this is related to what I showed you when you make an update in the project, and I'm using commit lint to confirm that it follows certain conventions. Okay, even in the commit messages. So if you saw, then I used chore and feat uh, in my commits. So like these are chores. Okay, why? Because they are an upgrade. uh, it is not changing a feature. All it is doing is uh, let's say upgrading a version here. Okay, but sometimes we make features, or sometimes there is a fix, a bug fix. uh, Feature was, let's say, adding TypeScript and updating ESLint. A chore was increasing the print width in Prettier. Previously it was 80, then I increased it to 100 because I wanted to. I got a bigger screen. I was like, I need more characters in one line. Okay, does not change any functionality, does not change anything what a user sees, but it definitely changes what a developer will see. So yeah, we have a bunch of things here: fix, feature, styling. Okay, if something is a style change, uh, that's here. So commit lint allows your team to adhere to a commit convention. Okay, what it should look like. uh, if you are working in corporates, you would also have a lint, commit lint, or uh, or your linting would be set up to always include the Jira ID. Okay, so that is like which issue you're solving. Okay, which someone might have raised an issue. Normally, you would use Jira or some other project similar to, I think, even like in you could use GitHub to have a list of issues. Every issue will have a unique ID, and when you make a commit, you would be asked to ensure you link it to a particular ID. So you could use commit lint to ensure that. Uh, Everything aside, ESLint is for ensuring that we're following proper conventions. It also checks for kind of does a static code analysis for us. TypeScript for types, Vue.js, coverage Istanbul. Now this is interesting one. Uh, so when you run test, then it should tell you how many, like let's say, lines are covered, how many functions are covered in your test, how many something else is covered. So sorry, answering a question here. So coverage Istanbul will generate that coverage. We will see that in action in a bit. Let me just upgrade the other dependencies. I had reached till auto prefix, at least that's what this says. Also, if you hover over it, it shows what's the latest version. 4.3.4. We are nearly there. Don't worry, all. Uh, Even if it looks like, oh, this is such a drag, and all we are doing is updating dependencies. I think it's a good habit to be in, frankly. Upgrade your dependencies so that you don't have security issues, which you just saw that my project had. Some of them are not upgraded. Like apparently these two have not been upgraded since like last 7 months or 6 months. Uh, that's good. Good to know. Like not all libraries will, of course, need updating every time. Okay, some of them are just done. Sometimes you just fix everything that could possibly happen, and unless there's an edge case that needs fixing, I think, yeah, most projects are done. uh Tailwind, oh yeah, Tailwind one is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to avoid that for the time being. So Tailwind upgraded from version 3 to version 4, and it has some breaking changes. What that means is that if I upgrade Tailwind, I will need to also make, like, some of the things that I've used in the project will also need upgrading. So I am going to visit their website, Tailwind CSS V3 to V4, and they have a upgrade guide. What they say is run this, and that should take care of all the upgrades automatically. So I am going to do just that. I'm going to do npx at tailwind css slash upgrade. I'm going to hit enter, going to expand this, and it says, do you want to install this? I will be like, yes, please install it. Okay, it's also suggesting that please commit everything that you have before you upgrade it. Sure, let me. But I will do a npm run bootstrap dev so that all the libraries that I have upgraded, uh, yeah, is reflected. So we'll wait for it to install. Then I'll run my project. My project should not be affected technically because all I did was upgrade the developer dependencies, right? Uh, so that should technically not affect anything. There is one vulnerability now. So we have gone from 9 issues to one. There are some TypeScript issues because yeah, I think the types of chroma did change, right? Yeah, we upgraded this types, and there are new types that exist. Example right here, valid. Valid is not exported from chroma.js. Uh, really? Is it not? Are we sure? It is. Okay, a bunch of TypeScript errors because possibly. Hmm. Okay, I think we can fix that, but let me see if the project runs. The project should again still run. Nope, it does not. What happened between the previous one and this new one? So React Router DOM was upgraded for sure. That caused a breaking change, which broke my project. We'll have to fix that. We'll have to debug that and fix it, which I think it should be fine to do. Mhm. Okay, definitely broke something. Okay, we'll fix it, of course. When you upgrade, these are the issues that are bound to happen. Things that I am going to revert for the time being because it says that there is a this valid is an issue. So let me revert one of the chroma.js types. Yes, it was 2.4.4, so I'm going to revert that to 2.4.4. Chroma. Okay, let's run bootstrap dev. Hopefully that fixes it. Mhm, mhm, mhm. There are certainly less issues now. Now let's see if it worked. Nope, still not found. So now this should be coming from my React Router DOM upgrade. So let me also revert that one. I'm definitely sure that is the one that would have broken my project. Going to do npm install again. You deleted valid import, did I? Ah, npm install again. Yep, npm run dev. Ah, interesting. Yeah, maybe I did. Thank you so much. Did not notice that. Okay, so my React router was not the problem. Cool. Let's go again. Oh, install things that you need to keep track. Love the Git history that I have. Okay, so that is not a problem. So the chroma one should not technically give an issue as such. Why would a type give me issue? But let's see, 3.1.1. Okay. What? Interesting. I haven't. I guess then it was because I deleted the uh, I deleted valid, but definitely okay. Let's see. Still one moderate, which we will fix in a bit. TypeScript should tell me that bunch of things are a problem. Yep, it does. But my dev server should run. That is what I'm more concerned about. Yep, okay, does work. So there are TypeScript issues, but our dev works. So my initial theory about dev dependencies should not break my production is still true. I made a mistake about deleting the valid import from Chroma.js, and that is what caused everything to go haywire. But now it works. Perfect. Cool. Now let me just do a git add, this git commit, and this is again a chore to update packages. There's nothing staged. At least there is nothing like a JS, JSX, TS, TSX changes that we have done. So this is good. And now let me just do a git push. That is done. Now let's go to the npx command. Okay, let's start this one fresh. So it tries to do something. It tries to make some changes. I'm going to let it make changes, hands off at this point. Let's see all the changes slash fixes it does. Some errors. Let's see. So searching for CSS files in current directory and subdirectory. It found tailwind config.js that we had, and it copied over the styles to app.css. Okay. Added a bunch of comments as well. So the import previously what used to be import base components and utilities. Now it is this layer base import URL. This is not an issue. This is more like change the style of. I prefer double quotes. Tailwind seems to prefer single quotes. That's fine. Custom variant is added for dark and light, a theme for header and background. The default border color has changed to current color in Tailwind CSS v4. Okay. And this remains same. Then it tried to migrate the JavaScript configuration. So it migrated some things and then it deleted the uh, configuration file that used to exist in it deleted everything that was defined in Tailwind config.js. So it thinks that it's not needed. And these are the two colors that it migrated over to app.css. Okay. Then updated the package of Tailwind CSS. Let's see. Yep, it's now on 4.1.6, which is nice. Ignoring this. Yeah, there is one change in here, which is it is now on 4.1.6. Updated the package for prettier plugin Tailwind CSS. No, that's a lie. It did not upgrade it. And this, and then it tried to do Tailwind add OCSS latest as a dev dependency, and that failed. Okay, why did that fail? Because the ESLint plugin Tailwind CSS has a problem. This plugin that we are using in our ESLint configuration seems to suggest that only it will only work with version 3 of Tailwind, not version 4. Okay, so that is going to be a problem actually for us. We will not have the version 4 capabilities because of this plugin. I'm going to delete this. I'll delete that, and I'll also have to delete it from, wait, what was the name? Let me copy the name. I think I'll have to delete it from my ESLint config as well. Let me go over to my ESLint config, search for this name, and there we go. It was imported in here. I'll have to delete it, and I'll also have to search for Tailwind CSS where it was mentioned. So let me delete that as well. That was imported. This is Tailwind CSS plugin rules. I have 3 more definitions of it. I don't know if these will work anymore, so I'm going to leave it as is. And let me try and run the command that it had failed to run. Okay, so now that command ran properly. It made changes in the header. Focus outline none changed to hidden. It made changes in the shadow. From small, it made it XS. Probably changes between what none was and hidden was, and SM was and XS was. Header only has one change, it seems. Okay, this I think is pretty cool. The changes in ESLint config was done by me, so that is fine, I guess. Okay, so if I do npm run bootstrap dev at this point, that should install all the dependencies, should not cause any issues technically. I'm waiting for it to finish. There is still one moderate severity, one moderate vulnerability, which I'll have to check who is causing that. But if I do npm run dev, things should work out. Okay, this works. Adding a color set works. The border, the background behind this. So for comparison purpose, this had a gray border behind. That's gone now. So that's one thing that we need to fix. This is still fine, I think. Was similar before. Oops. Okay, let me switch between these two. So this is my dev and this is my production. So I'm trying to make a comparison. If I copy over this hex over here and I click on generate colors, okay, so this looks the same. Let me make this primary as well. Okay, so my dev and this looks the same, values look the same. Export colors, it caused a blackout behind. That did not happen before. Okay, so there is something that is messed up there as well that we need to fix. This is fine. Copy code, copied it, and am I able to paste it in Notepad? Yes. And which one did I paste? CSS RGB. So let me go in here. CSS RGB. Is that CSS RGB? Yes, primary 50, 950. Copy code. Yep, looks about right. So no issues here for sure. What else? I think a close, and then there was a remove that would remove a color set. So now I'm left with only one. Let me close this. Oh, color contrast. This should still work. Color contrast. Yes. So yeah, the opacity in the background that has kind of changed. That we need to fix. That would be Tailwind CSS mostly. Add a color set, that works. Remove works. Export all colors, yep. And if I close this, export all colors, yep. Okay, so not major changes, some fixes that need here and there, but that's fine. Not major changes on our code base for sure. Export colors modal. So this is the one that should have caused the change. What changed here? Shadow. Shadow. Okay. Header focus opacity is not something that I see here. None changed to hidden. Okay. Anyways, I think this is good for the time being. Now, if I do a git add, a git commit, chore update tailwind package to v4, now it is going to run all the linting. Okay, and there is a failure. So one failure is in the ESLint configuration itself that we need to fix, which was, you remember these three class names? It does not recognize them because it removed the import. So now let me try to do a git add again, a git commit. Let's see. And these are all the failures, okay, in our code base right now. Okay, so we'll need to fix all of these. Wow, that is a lot of failures. Okay, uh, let's go one by one over it. For anyone who's thinking that what are we even doing, we are going to be building the project, but we need to first do some cleanup before we actually build it, right? Uh, lint. Yes, this is the command I was looking for. So we have a lint command, npm run lint. The lint command will point us to all the issues that we saw when we tried to fix this. So now it is saying that the first uh, replace font medium leading 6 with leading 6 and font medium. I'm going to just do format document, and that should take care of that error. Okay. Actually, then I should. Do I have a prettier command? I don't think so. So most of these issues are coming from prettier, which technically could be fixed. It says contrast is not exported. Do you want to import contrast from Chroma.js? So let me try that. So if I do this, it's comparatively happy. But there are some other issues with this. So contrast itself, it expected no overload expects two arguments, but overloads do exist that expect either one or four arguments. An operator uh, greater than cannot be applied to types, color, and number. Okay, so well, that is valid, right? So it says that there is nothing which will take in two arguments, but it can have either one argument or four arguments. So let's try one argument. Okay, now one issue is fixed. The second one is greater than cannot be applied to types, color, and number. So this is a number, and this one returns a color. BG shade comes from this one. So let me console log this. Yep, I want to see what is the BG shade as a value. So let me run dev and okay. So now that my dev server has started and the change was done in contrast table. So let me generate colors, clear all this, click on check contrast. So BG shade is it is a value, a hex value. Okay, so a lot of changes here and there. So contrast, what does that return normally? So I'll need to check chroma.js library or API docs. See what is the contrast. Chroma.contrast, it returns a number. Hmm, It is a number, and it technically actually accepts, or at least at one point, it definitely accepted two things. Hmm. Yes, that's what the documentation suggests. I think what I'm going to do, especially in for Chroma.js, is I'm not going to upgrade that. I am not sure that it is a correct, suggesting me correct things. So in the update packages, what was the initial Chroma.js type? I am going to use that. So reasoning, okay. So the reasoning is that currently, if I see their documentation, it says it takes in two colors, okay, color one and color two, and it compares and contrasts between those two. But my types seem to suggest that no, it takes either one or four, okay, which is wrong, definitely. So either I'm importing the wrong thing or this is coming back as a wrong value. I'm going to leave it as is, and I'm going to do npm run bootstrap dev. Okay, so I hope it makes sense of why I reverted that one change regarding Chroma JS types. The documentation and the types are not matching. So 4 months ago, someone added a new type that caused issues. Okay. Okay, now see. Now it says that it expects two arguments, but it got one. So definitely, uh, right here, I can just have white back. So that's good. And what else? npm run build. Okay, I could do this. Analyze types. npm run analyze types. No, I don't even need this. I just want to do tsc. Okay, cool. No issues, which is nice. Uh, Anything else that I need to fix before I npm run dev? I think still working. This seems to. Generate colors, yes, still working. Yep, this is still working. Okay, so I can remove the console log that I had added. Okay. Anything else that needs changes or fixing? Oh, yeah, we were doing some linting right now. Let me do that. npm run lint. Okay, so these are the issues. Most of these are related to Prettier, so I can just do format document and that should take care of it. I could technically also have a format fix. The way I have lint fix, I can have a format fix. Yep. The format fix, it will run Prettier and it will write, as in like make changes in the root or the current, actually, not the root, in the current. Okay, the dot represents the current. So let me run that. npm run format fix. So this should go over every file, make changes in every file. Wherever it sees formatting issues, it will make that change. Wherever it does not see any formatting issues, it will remain unchanged. And that's it. Okay, so now if I do npm run lint, I should not see any Prettier related issues, hopefully. Yep, perfect. No issues. ESLint has run. No issues observed. It is auto taken care of. Don't you all love that? If things are auto taken care of, just to ensure that everything is still running fine, I am going to do npm run dev again. Generate colors, change the color, generate colors, export colors. We know about the blackout issue. We know about this issue, but these two things should work. Yep. Add color set works. Uh, yep, this works. Export all colors should show me two set of colors. That works. Okay, cool. I guess this is the perfect time to push all the changes that we have done. So let me do a git add again, which should stage all the changes. I can do a git commit where we upgraded the tailwind package. This works. ESLint fixes still having some problems. Now this one is interesting. So this is a problem where it says that it cannot really read these files unless the JSX flag is provided. So it is definitely to do with what we did or change in TypeScript and in ESLint. So let's see. So in tsconfig, it has reference to two files. In this one, it tries to fetch it from this place. Target is, let me upgrade that to ES next so it uses the latest. This one is also ES next. Bundler mode React JSX is fine. What about my projects? So this is TypeScript JSX. Technically should be TypeScript React. Hmm. Not sure. Let me just reload the whole project. Hopefully that picks it up. And I also need to see my ESLint. So see, these are the problems that happens when you upgrade stuff. Hmm. Another way I can technically check is if I go over to package JSON, and this is the fix command, right? So this is what it tries to run, lint fix, and that causes the issue. Well, this time it works here. Come on. What else? Read config has everything assigned. So this is not an issue for sure. Tries to go over this file where it actually can reach. So then it comes down to where am I running ESLint fix? This one. Hmm. My ESLint fix takes. I'll have to check lint staged for this one. What I could technically do for the time being is remove this just so that I can actually push this before we end the session. And when we come back, nope, it is not happy. Where else? I have React JSX defined somewhere that I saw. This one is correct actually. Uh, React JSX seems to be a valid value. So I don't know why would it not do it. Oof. Okay, so this time it is TSC. TSC no emit and skip lib check is causing an issue. Okay. So getting somewhere. TypeScript seems to have this one. Okay. Oops, git add. Git commit. What is my pre-commit hook? Let's see. Lint stage and npx tsc dash dash no emit dash dash skip lib check. Git add. You all might be like, wow, this is such a chore. Another thing that I'm going to skip for the time being is TSC. Let's see. I really want to push this before we go on a break. Okay, so that solved most of my issues. The way I solve the issues is by deleting all the things that were checking it. So now I should be able to push everything. My project should still be up and running. And the things that I removed need to be fixed. Okay, so this one is not a really good push because I had to update TSC and I have no idea why it just did not. Interesting. Anyways, I think I'll look into it later. But for the time being, all these things are pushed and you can actually take a look by going onto this project. Next thing is we are going to start building stuff. Okay. But before that, since I have a 4 hour session and we are towards the end of our first session, let us take a break and then we will come back. Now, before we go on a break, any questions, anyone? The code base is in here. Okay. You can find everything that we have pushed, which is technically in this one, we only upgraded the packages and that caused a bunch of failures. But it's good that we have the failures right now, because now when we start updating stuff, we should have a smooth sail. What we will start with is I am going to delete most of the project that we have. Yes. We're going to take a fresh approach. Like actually not most of the projects, but some of the things, some of the components that we have, because our design does not match uh, anything that we had before. Buttons maybe yes, but even they look different. Okay, we need the design to be more compact. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, deleting stuff. We'll create a new layout, which would be a 3 column layout. uh, so that is the first thing. We'll use Tailwind to create a 3 column layout. We'll create a new header. We will, yeah, at least those are the things that I plan to do. We'll create some components, custom components. So there will be a button. There would be a theme switcher that we will need. We need a drop down. We need an input box, which could be as big as we want or even small boxes. So these are some of the things that we need. So some small icon buttons, I would say, some input boxes, which actually this, yeah, this would be a read only input box kind of. Yeah. So yeah, I think these are the things that we want to make changes. And our current system does not support most of these. So we'll delete that. Any questions that I've missed in the chat? How do we avoid duplication while contributing to open source? If you want to contributing, if you mean to contribute to this project, then it would basically be take the issues that you are assigned. Definitely there. Hmm. Definitely, I think we have had discussions about, towards the beginning, we had discussions about what, like, I'll create issues, you can contribute to it. Uh, Whenever you want to contribute to other projects, check out if it is assigned to someone. So normally you would have people who are assigned to particular issues. Let me see if any of the closed issues have anyone assigned. Yep, there were people assigned to it. If I go over in this, I can see that I had assigned issues to people. I, okay, I can't find it, but yes, you would have issues that would be assigned to people, and you could technically, then you will always know then it is assigned to someone else and they'll work on it. Yep. Hmm. Okay. And working on active issues is a separate thing, but I'm adding a new feature. How to avoid working on duplicates? Working on So if you want to add a new feature, first open one. Okay, open a request for it so that it can be seen by others. They can volunteer to, like, they can talk about it, they can discuss about it, they can tell you what else could be added. They can tell you what could be removed. The author of the project, like in this case, I would be also contributing to the discussion, requesting for more details, maybe suggesting slight improvements, because I know what the project looks like and what could be done. So yeah, based on all of that, I would say, uh, yeah, when you please raise a request, please raise a feature request, let others see it, and once everyone has seen it, once everyone has discussed, then it would be assigned to you and you can contribute or build it out. Okay, have a discussion first is what I would suggest. Okay, if there are no further questions, I think this is the perfect time to pause. Okay, I have a session right after this. I will make an announcement on Discord, so you will know 5 minutes before I start. And let's start in like, it's 11:55 right now for me, so we'll start the next session at 12:05. I will start the stream so that you can join, avoid ads, and yeah, when we go start building, it would be like 12:05, 12:10. So I'll give you 10-15 minute break so that you can just walk around, eat something, because it's lunchtime for me. So I'll grab something quickly, and yeah, then we'll come back and start deleting stuff and start building stuff. I'll also try and figure out what is the issue with the TSC. Definitely, I missed out something, so I'll have to check. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And ah, hello. uh, and we'll be back in 10 minutes where we will start building this one out. Okay. All we did was upgrade libraries, which had issues, but we'll come back and build stuff now. Okay. Thanks all. Cheers. Bye bye.